best Tuesday ever. I literally every day when I wake up, I tell myself, oh my gosh, this is going to be the best one ever. Like this is the best Wednesday or this is the best Tuesday. And it's amazing how our brains then say, oh, that's what I have to do. Instead of just like falling in today, like attack it. And this lady has been attacking chiropractic and pediatrics for 20 plus years. I have had mad respect for her for a really, really long time. We got to spend time together at Chiro Fest and then share an Uber / Lyft / whatever on the way back to the airport, and then started talking about the Pediatric Boot Camp at Sherman, February 29th and March 1st. So I got to tell you, I'm a super fangirl of Dr. Monika Berger. I'm sure all of you are as well. So Monika, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, it's my pleasure. I'm excited to see you again, and I cannot wait for February.
Yay! It's going to be super, super awesome. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about when you first started, you know, like when you launched as the expert. And just for all of you to know, no one comes around and says, you're the expert, you're not. You take that position. And Monika has done an awesome job of continuously upping her knowledge and her skills in order to remain at the very top of chiropractic pediatrics. So Monika, let's go back several decades. And what was showing up then that you started creating programs for chiropractors based out of your own experience of helping kids with special needs to now what it is? So let's take a little bit of a history down past years.
Memory lane. Yeah, I've been in practice. I've been doing this work for over 25 years. I've been in practice going on 30 years. So I've been around the block a time or two. And that is an awesome question. Thank you for asking that, actually. Because here's the dilly-wop. When I started in practice, you know, I say autism it was a micro blip. We weren't even really talking about autism. The big gun was ADD, ADHD, right? That was just starting to come out, right? And so my background I always had a fascination with neurology, working from the physical therapy realm and exercise physiology and that whole genre. So I loved the nervous system. So I have been very fortunate over almost 3 decades now. That's a long time. And in fact, you guys in February, you're going to get some kick butt killer cutting edge stuff. I have been entrenched in research. I'm always entrenched in research. But the last couple of weeks, I've been putting together more modules in my new program called Developing Minds. And I am telling you, it is unfreaking credible what we have out there in the research. And I was talking to Barbara right before we went on, and one of my slogans is, a little bit of information can be key, but a little bit of information can also be detrimental. So in today's paradigm, where we're seeing children's neurofunctional status at a very young age being extremely compromised, I feel it's extremely important as chiropractors that if you're dealing in a family realm, in a pediatric realm, and anywhere you're going to see little fiddle farts, to at least understand the red flags that might be coming into your office. Now, whether you want to manage those or not, that's your bag of chips. But at least be mindful of what you might be seeing and what it means. And so I really pour my heart and soul and my whole life into keeping up on that. And the information is coming out fast and furious. And the way my brain works is I put all those pieces together to paint an entire picture and then put it in a format that's easy for docs out there in the field to understand. And you're going to get a whole lot of that in February.
And Monika, when we look at what's changing so much, where's the research coming out of? Like, is it chiropractic research? Is it the medical model is finally looking at like, crap, there's a lot of neurological insult here. Like, what are you studying that is making you go, oh my gosh?
Oh my God. Then you got some great questions, girlfriend.
Okay.
Great question. Here's the dealing. I actually read research from so many medical paradigms, from the Journal of Psychiatry, Journal of Pediatrics. I mean, across the board, I am reading their research. And if you understand that and you can show it to them and say, if they look at you and say, where are you getting this at? from your research.
Yeah,
They just don't know what to do. They're like, what? So I take that in conjunction with understanding neurophysiology, neurodevelopment, brain development. So just this, I can go on forever, but we used to look at the brain model as different brain structures from less important to more important, or less developed to higher developed. That is an outdated model. It's really looking at neural network developments and neural network connections. Okay. And we'll, again, February, and my Developing Minds program is freaking incredible. But so we need to keep up on that literature, and that's mostly from the medical paradigm. But I put that in a context in a chiropractic. Then I take what we have in chiropractic research. Some of you may know that I team up in tandem with the brilliant Heidi Havik, and her and I are doing classes together. And she's the cutting edge of our source of research, right? Neuroscience chiropractically. And we marry those two together, and we marry neurophysiology, anywhere from methylation, neurobiology, and put that together in a context that practicing docs out there can understand, relate to. You don't have to change your practice protocols or paradigm if you don't want to, but knowing what you're walking into is critical, in my opinion.
And so when we go to Developing Minds, what is Developing Minds that you have created, and who is it for?
It's for anybody that has a family wellness or pediatric practice, any chiropractor.
Okay.
It really is, if anybody that wants to look at how we can turn the tide on the neurobiology of disease. Disease starts preconception, put it that way. We need to back up. By the time I did a class this morning for my docs in the Intersect for Life program, and I said, by the time we are seeing a baby, by the time that baby's born, we are already needing to work to reverse the disease process
immediately.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go. And so when I started this work, I started teaching on primitive reflexes. I started teaching on sensory modulation, and I actually brought this work to the forefront in the chiropractic community with the ICPA, and that's where it started to take off. Back in those days, 25 plus years ago, we could modulate. We could get those neurological systems in check easier because the stress load wasn't so magnificent. Mm-hmm. So I had the advantage of learning this work over years and going through the trenches and weeding out what would be pertinent for chiropractors and what is maybe not so much that we need to address in the chiropractic practice. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So I weeded out to make it simple for chiropractic doctors to understand and utilize. But over years, I started talking about vagal tone and vagus nerve over 15 years ago. People in our profession made fun of me. They say, "Oh, Berger, Mrs. Vegas, she loves to talk about the vagus nerve. That's all she'll talk about." Now look where we are.
Yeah.
And then we started addressing microbiome, and we're going to kick butt on that in February, right, Barbara?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fire in the belly. So now we're looking at what do we have to do preconception wise? What is the psychosocial stress in mom, the microbiome of mom, how her sensory perception, what I call perception response disorders, how is that going to play a role in the neurodevelopment of the offspring? So it's kind of fun. I feel like I've always been a decade ahead of what's coming out. And it's fun when I see this stuff, especially in the medical literature, and it backs up what I've been talking about for 10, 15 years. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome that you have not only the fortitude to stand firm, but to get an innate nudge and then to say, I'm I'm going for this. Like, I got to figure this out. It seems like this. And for all of you, like, that comes from lots of experience, and that comes from being, like, waking up every day serving, and not living within the dogma of, I've already seen it. It's got to be this. And that's the challenge. I think a lot of times when in the medical model is just this and this, it fits in this box. This and this, it fits in this box. And it's easy to do. It's easy to do in our profession too. And I give you a lot of credit, Monika, that instead you've said, all right, so I'll take what I've learned. I'll take my experience and what I'm learning. And when I bring it all together, it's got to be something. Wait a minute. There's got to be something more. There's got to be like, what am I missing here? Because we know the body is amazing and talented, and it was created to be well. It wasn't created to be sick. So what's causing this dysfunction? What's causing the body to like attack itself and not to be well? And that's been your mission for 35 years, is to uncover those layers. So somebody asked the question, are you discouraging vaccination? So Travis, let me tell you this. Please go to nvic.org and do your own research. We have done our research. I am firmly committed to understanding the insult that vaccines have on the immune system. And I would encourage you to form your own opinion based on being informed. And so that means reading the research, reading the research that isn't done by the very companies that are putting out the vaccines. I think that's called bias. Just like I'm biased towards my children. And if you have children, you're probably biased towards your children. It's important to get a different perspective. And so I would encourage you to go to nvic.org. They're simply there for information. You can see all of the bills. I actually just did a webinar with Dr. Andrea today, Marconi, for my boot camp on just like, what does the NVIC have available for us? So I would encourage anyone who's searching, please go there. So Monika, as we wrap this up, let's talk for a minute about the doc who desperately wants to serve families and serve children, and just feels like, I don't even know when I would start learning all of this. Like, how am I supposed to fit it in on top of whether it's school or on top of a busy practice and raising a family? So maybe I just won't learn about taking care of kids. Like, what do you say to that, doctor?
Start to put your toe in. I've had the opportunity to learn and titrate in things over, almost 30 years now. But go to the boot camp in February. You're going to get a good, well-rounded view of a lot of really critical information. See what floats your boat. See what I say, what's your bag of chips? Does it resonate with you? Does it fire your soul? Does it keep you motivated? And if so, then look for programs that you resonate with that instructor. The Developing Minds program, what we're doing is, it's going to be over 200 hours. It takes you everything from preconception care through adolescence, but in small bites, so you can digest a little bit. Plus, it's a mentoring program. So when you have questions or stumble, you have a supportive environment, a group. We meet once a month online. We're very hand-holding. But if that resonates with you, fantastic. And it's going to be a certification program in functional neurodevelopment. We cover everything, the microbiome, neuroplasticity, everything. Heidi Havik is doing a module for us. So it's huge. But go to the boot camp in February. See what floats your boat. There's other programs out there that you might be interested in, courses to the ICP, et cetera. But, take that first step. Just take a little bite.
Yeah.
And sparks your fire.
Yeah. I love that you talked about the psychosocial stressors on the mom, because really then the Pediatric Boot Camp also sheds new light on pregnancy, right? And how are we caring for pregnant moms, and then what education do we provide so that those women and those young girls who aren't married, who aren't pregnant yet or haven't conceived, like, hey, you need to be aware of these kinds of things, and rest assured that your eggs are being subjected to everything in your life, all of your thoughts, all of your traumas, all of the toxicity, all of the physical stress. So be aware that that egg is not going to produce a baby that's healthier than that egg, and that's really the truth of it.
If we want to turn the tide, we need to start. So this is what I teach, what I say. The average age of first pregnancy in the United States is age 28. Most diseases start 20 years before they get the label, before they get the diagnosis. So do the math. If the disease process starts 20 years beforehand, at a minimum, we need to be seeing those people under care at age 8. Now, I'm advocating before that, but at least there, in order to ward off those underlying effects of causes of disease. And I go to 4 T's now: trauma, toxins, thoughts, and technology. Did you know that EMFs will alter sensory motor development in the offspring? EMF exposure during pregnancy. EMFs can modulate, if a woman has mercury fillings, can liberate that mercury in the body and transfer to the fetus. These are all things we need to be aware of. And so, there's a lot we need to think about. But as chiropractors, we think whole body, we think globally. So now we need to spread that across all ages, all stages, and really to turn the tide.
Absolutely. And Travis, thanks for your question. Glad you agree, and you're welcome. All right. So as we round this out, what final words do you have for those who are watching now, who will watch this later? Those who haven't grabbed their Pediatric Boot Camp ticket yet. And for all of you to know, like, the nature of this is very hands-on. We're going to be in the adjusting lab and in the classroom. So you will have an opportunity to have this lady give you like one-on-one. I highly recommend being there because it is a small environment. We're limited to 40 docs and 20 students. So, and honestly, I haven't looked at our numbers right now. We've sold a lot of seats. So I wouldn't, like, this isn't something like, oh, I'll decide later. No, get your ticket now. So Monika, what final words do you have for our Chiro sisters and brothers who are watching this now or who may watch it later tomorrow?
Never, ever, ever give up hope. We, now more than ever, the world needs us. I can't stress that enough. If we're going to turn the tide, we need to be the ones on the forefront, standing up. We need to be shouting from the rooftops about vagal tone, vagal expression, neuro expression, how we, as chiropractors, we modulate sensory input. We are the volume control of sensory input into the brain. Every decision we make in life, every mode of our interactions, academic learning, social learning, emotional learning, is by what we perceive. We modulate that sensory perception. We need to be on the forefront, screaming from the rooftops about how we do that and why it's so important. And we're going to be hammering that out in February, right, Barbara?
Yay, absolutely. And I promise you will be equipped and will grow your confidence so that Monday morning you show up as into your office as that rock star, that dream keeps coming to your mind. And I firmly believe that dream is God just saying to you, listen, you're the only one who can do this. You're the only one who can carry this message to your town. So stand up, join us. We look forward to seeing you February the 29th at Sherman College of Chiropractic. Thank you so much, Monika. All of you have a wonderful, blessed evening. Bye.
Bye.